I had never envisioned, even when I started out coaching, whether I wanted to be a head coach of, let alone say, the national team. Being responsible to take on this whole entire role, shouldering all the responsibilities that come with being the head coach. I wouldn't say it was daunting, but I felt there was something that I needed to do to carry on what the previous coaching team had set out to do in the first place, which was to develop a cohesive unit and a whole entire team, building a more cohesive environment for everyone to come in and enjoy the sport even though it's at a higher level.
Nicely put in by Ong Swee Ling for Singapore 4, Australia 2.
If the players know that you're showing them genuine care and concern, it helps them feel more belonged and helps them to be more certain that my coach is really there for me more than just being a coach. They're really like maybe sometimes a confidant, a mentor, or a friend. Having played 10 years in the national team and 15 years in totality as a floorball player, I've learned from my coaches through observation. I also have gathered my experience as a player, the way we were being managed, down to my own observation of other coaches and how they run teams. I felt that coaching evolves through the years because, we always want to enhance ourselves, whether it's in terms of the way we deliver our sessions, or is it through our own enhancement of our knowledge? And we need to ensure that the players trust us to know better, to help them be able to maintain the physical aspects of the game and understanding the demands of the job. So this has helped form what coaching really is to us. When I first started coaching, my philosophy was to maximize everybody's potential regardless their capabilities. So whether they were good in the physical aspects of the game, or someone was more tactically aware, sound, or someone had great shooting skills, this sort of formed how I would manage the team and give these players the respective opportunities to perform based on their capabilities. But as an educator for 10 years, I see varied capabilities of students day in, day out, year after year, semester after semester. And I understood that everybody had a different learning pace, right? So it is about understanding the individual rather than forcing things onto them. It's sort of evolved to what eventually my coaching philosophy was when I started coaching the team. And this philosophy was to trust the process and to spend time or dedicate time to develop holistic players. So this was the final philosophy that I had when I was coaching in the national team. Holistic development of an individual is as equally as important as coaching them to be better in their sport itself. So it's about the holistic development, understanding and building relationship with the players, not just on court, but understanding how they are going through life, whether it's as a student, as a daughter, or even as what they do at work. It's really a daunting task to ensure that you have everything in place, to ensure that you really have what you have to manage your team, build your team, and each player is unique. They have different backgrounds. Even though at the elite level, they all have different strengths. So how do we consolidate all this information or all these characteristics of the various players? And how can we really make them as one team? By understanding them, we were able to better manage them, and we knew what were their strengths that we could hone and the areas that we could help them develop. This was something that I really wanted to do, and develop the holistic players in a more cohesive environment, And in order to do so, I had to trust the process. So trusting the process to me is like rock climbing. When I look at the wall, it comes with a lot of self-reflection of how you want to get things done. And there are many ways to reach the end goal, which is the top of the wall. And everyone has different ways of climbing to reach that. It is either what you think is ideal, and whether others can provide you with alternatives and different perspectives for you to see a bigger picture. You need to not only trust what you are doing, but you need to trust those who are working together with you to move ahead. I guess it's just part of the whole entire thought process when you are putting plans into place, but plans will evolve. It might have been challenging at the start to get the players to buy into the process because there could be things that we are trying out for the very first time. It became helping them understand that, okay, let's try this. If it doesn't work, we'll scrap it. If it works, we'll see how we can modify it to our own kind of style and play, which is to trust the whole entire things that we have planned out for them. After several training sessions, to understand the approaches that we are adopting to helping them improve themselves. To bear fruit with what you learn to develop yourself is pretty much your willingness and receptiveness to learn. And we all need to understand that learning is also a process in itself. We don't get immediate results the next day, or for some coaches, they think they can get it in the next hour. It really is a whole entire process. So if we focus too much on the end result that we wanted to achieve, then we may neglect what we actually need to do in the process of trying to achieve that goal. And a lot of things may be left overlooked. So it's really not just about coaching the sport itself, but there's so many other aspects. I don't know if I would have been able to manage the whole entire team by myself because it just consists of just more than just training. I had to find additional help. For me, all along, coaching is not a one-man show, or ideally, it would be best to have a team of coaches to help you, working with everybody's strengths. And we knew that as the season wore on, things were going to get tougher, and we really were collaborative in planning sessions for the players. So whether is it off-court sessions or really on-court sessions, right? There are so many aspects to coaching that if you're a one-man show, you may overlook certain responsibilities or certain aspects of the game, especially if you may seem to be an individual who is less meticulous or very focused on other things. So working in a team builds to everybody's strengths. So for example, one of my coaches does all the fitness training plans. Another one helps with tactical and technical areas. And then for myself, I really oversee the whole entire team, which is player management, with the goal setting, trying to continue with that cohesive culture. That is team management. And then across all of us, we do administrative work so that we can cover each other every time there's a deadline due along those lines. So that's why I say coaching is a team effort. So if you imagine one individual doing this by himself or herself, it can be really taxing. Particularly in 2019, it was a really very busy year for us. So my coaches and I, we really had to plan. Okay, we need to do this at this time, and we really had to trust ourselves and trust that what we were doing would really benefit the team at the end of the day. I guess in a way, I was very lucky to have very good colleagues or other coaches who were really on the same page as myself. All of us had the same kind of values and philosophy because my other coaches were also educators. So we all had this same philosophy of developing holistic players as well as to build a cohesive environment. Based on my past experiences as a player, all my observations through what my coaches have done, being cohesive was really at the top of my list because it is only through really good team cohesion that we can face adversity without, pinpointing who's to blame, so on and so forth. And it really sets the tone of uniting everyone together. And we knew that if we continued building team cohesion, building a cohesive environment, still having the elements of fun, everyone is accountable for what they do, they enjoy going for training. To be honest, no one likes physical training. No one wants to run 6 times 200 meters, right? So, in my opinion, the ideal training environment for coach and player to gather and train in, or even mingle around in, would have to be one that is safe, one that is not threatening, one that has a welcoming feel. I guess it's really the activities that we do. For example, before training actually starts, players do their warm-ups, and then after that we play game. So to get them into the mood of what is to come, to help them feel more relaxed, to know that, okay, I've just finished a hard day in school, at work, or even at home. I come here, I have fun with my friends first, and then yet we are still going to focus on training together so that it's fun. So we fulfill the F in SWFT. So I think during one team meeting, I decided to hey guys, we need to come up with some characteristics that would exude team qualities. We were known as the Singapore Women's Floorball Team, so it's SWFT. Each particular alphabet stands for something. But I gave them the first one, which was selflessness. Because to me, being in a team, you have to be selfless. It's not just about your own personal agenda anymore. Winning mentality came from the previous coaching team, the coach, and she really was enthusiastic about having the winning mentality, whether it's during training and particularly during competitions itself, so that everything that they go in for, they will make sure that they achieve something. Like I mentioned earlier, F is for them to have fun, and T is trust, where building trust among everyone is important in a team sport because they really have to depend on each other each time they step on court. Because there are many things that are happening on court in a team sport. There's so many situations that every player faces. So it really is ideal that there is this trust in all the players so that it helps them build the confidence to perform at the level that they know that they can perform.
With the shot and the score! Superb!
Given the fact that the team had some role or had definitely a stake in developing SWFT, I think at the back of their minds, they knew that this was something that they had to maintain or had to inculcate in themselves. And through the conversations or relations and activities that we have with the players, it does give them a greater sense of belonging in the team. I think coaches have to remember that they're responsible for people. Some coaches think that they just label them as athletes. Come and go. I go for training and then I'm done and then I go off. But they are still people with a whole lot of background to them. So it really represents team, but somehow more than it just being a team. Right? It's about friendship, about cohesion, about unity. Yeah, so these sort of things, I guess these notes can also serve as reminders for us that we're always part of the team. Yeah, so this was the last one that I got from the players. All the officials got this from the players, including that photo in the frame. These are really heartfelt words and thoughts from people you know, whether it's from your coaching team or from the players themselves, right? These are some things that money cannot buy. Yeah, so it's really a recognition, I guess, and gratitude of efforts and commitment that I'm sure that my other coaches also have this, because we do put in a great amount of effort and commitment to managing the team lah. having a player-centric kind of training really is like what I have been, or like what the coaches that I have been working with is understanding the players. So when you understand the players, you understand their positions, you ensure that, hey, even though I'm a forward, I must also understand what the other roles are on court. It becomes more player-centric rather than just very task-oriented type of coaching where a coach has this 1 to 10 that they must complete during training and they just check what they do. So that's task-oriented as opposed to being very player-centric, where your training, like what I said, you can plan for this at the start of the training, but if you see as the training wears on, the players start to get tired, right? Then you know that, hey, you need to adjust something after this, or you need to cut short certain things after this, or we have to remodify the drill in that sense. So it's about understanding the players, being more observant to how they are reacting during training, so that you are able to be more flexible and adaptable and still get the best out of them every single session. With every success that comes, there will be some mini failures along the way in order to achieve that success at the end of the day. So it is about their receptiveness to learn, or the willingness to get feedback on, hey, these are the areas that maybe you can look into, or even look for a mentor that can help them develop their skills. May not necessarily be the hard skills of the game or the sport. It could be the soft skills of, hey, so how do I improve my instruction delivery, for example. But they need to also remember that everything takes time, and they may adopt the same approach as, oh, if I don't try, I won't know kind of approach or mentality. But I guess coaches shouldn't be afraid to fail in certain things, especially if it's something new, because everything takes time. Nothing is done overnight, or success is not achieved overnight. Coaching in this COVID-19 era, I guess the coaches have to be more adaptable, for sure. And they should use this opportunity to learn other skills that may help them improve their training sessions. For example, I guess learning how to do sports analysis or analysis of skills better. How do they conduct trainings online, which can be very challenging because there can be Zoom lag, or I got no Zoom account, after 45 minutes please log in again, that kind of thing. And I guess in this kind of situation, the coaches have to be adaptable, and they really could use this opportunity to enhance other areas of coaching that they feel like they should also enhance their knowledge about, instead of just the sport itself. So for example, they can look into, okay, so how do I really help my players be more focused, improve their mental toughness, or how do I improve my analytical skills in the sport? Is it a new mobile app that I can use? And there are other areas as well that the coaches could educate themselves. But I think the most important part of it is to be adaptable.